In Ukraine, Interior Minister Arsen Avakov said an anti-terrorist operation in the eastern city of Kharkiv succeeded in expelling pro-Russian protesters from the regional administration building. About 70 people were arrested in the operation. Pro-Russian demonstrators have also seized buildings in the eastern cities of Luhansk and Donetsk. In Belarus, well-wishers in the city of Rodna turned out to greet Mykolai Atuchovich following his release from more than 5 years in prison. Atuchovich, who was convicted of illegal possession of weapons and ammunition, is regarded by Western rights organizations as a dissident because of his anti-corruption and opposition political activities. In Russia, the Constitutional Court ruled that a controversial law on what are deemed foreign agents does not violate the Constitution. The court in St. Petersburg said the description foreign agent is neutral and cannot be considered a sanction against organizations. The law, which requires non-governmental groups to register as foreign agents if they receive funding from abroad and engage in political activities, has been denounced by rights groups as an attack on Russian civil society. Also in Russia, police in Moscow prevented a woman from staging a protest outside President Vladimir Putin's public reception office. Albina Petrova said she wanted to call attention to the alleged violation of the rights of those who worked to control the fire at the Chernobyl nuclear plant. The April 1986 explosion and fire at Chernobyl in Ukraine remains the worst civilian nuclear disaster in history. In Moldova, hundreds of teachers protested outside the government headquarters in Chisinau to demand a pay increase and decent working conditions. The teachers say they're outraged because the government wants to increase the number of working hours while keeping wages unchanged. The union and the government have been holding negotiations aimed at resolving the standoff in one of Europe's poorest countries. In Serbia, state-run television symbolically returned building passes that were seized more than 20 years ago from workers during the regime of the late former ruler Slobodan Milosevic. The employees were targeted after they refused to participate in what they regarded as unprofessional inflammatory journalism aimed at stirring up Serbian nationalism and fanning the flames of war. Serbian state-run television has apologized for its actions during the Milosevic regime. In Georgia, supporters of a Tbilisi school protested outside the Ministry of Education and Science to demand the reinstatement of the school's director. The director of School 53 was removed from duty over alleged financial irregularities in the school's administration. Teachers and students organized a strike and no classes were held. In Iraq, the southern city of Basra has been hosting its third International Flower Exhibition. It's being held on what was once the presidential palace grounds of the former dictator Saddam Hussein. The colorful show comes as Iraqis mark the 11th anniversary of the April 9, 2003 collapse of Saddam's regime during the US-led invasion. And that's the video roundup from Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty.